and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Mucking Funday. Welcome from the weekend. I hope you had a good one. We're here to ruin the rest of the week. This is Holden. You might have missed a
It's over now.
Day. So let's get started. This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look for stories right before the show starts. It's got caffeine in our body, learning to read and speak on the stream. Let's roll that segue wheel. But first, let's get into the headlines.
Right on.
Why is my audio messing up? I don't know why this keeps happening.
Was it clipping?
There we go. No, it's just like a buzzing noise.
Oh, yeah, I hear that.
I don't notice it, and then I don't know what's happening, so I can't fix it. Okay. Today on Mocking Funday, Sukaroima volcano erupts in the southwest of Japan, creating 4,400 mile-high plume. And Brussels improves its forecast for the European economy in 25 and 26, despite the trade war with the United States.
Oof. And for the United States, is everybody ready for the impending economic devastation by a mortgage crisis? Well, get ready, because the nation's largest mortgage lender has decided that credit scores don't matter. Plus, Chile! You have the far left and the far right are going to be faced in a runoff.
The election campaign in Hungary heats up as Orban challenger Peter Magyar gains rural support. And an ad for the Kyiv Independent. No, that's not what it is. Act of sabotage. Explosion hits Polish railway track used for Ukraine aid shipments, Warsaw says. Suspicious.
And Bangladesh's ex-prime minister is sentenced to death. Holy crap! What did she do?
In my culture news, Disney sparks backlash as CEO Bob Iger says company to allow AI-generated content. Yeah, you do that, Disney. Keep on killing yourself.
And call me Butter, because I'm on a roll. It's National Butter Day, November 17th, 2025, on Before Coffee.
You came up with the saying, call me butter.
I'd hit a shot, and I'd say, butter. And I'd say, what? Butter? Yeah, I'm butter. I'm on a roll. Ew. Bam!
Okay,
Boredom.
I see.
I'll never get credit for that saying.
And you came up with no-brainer, too, right?
I did. I'll never get credit for that either. That's all right, man. It's all right. I know how things get picked up.
Sometimes it's good to, just know you're the one who got it,
Yeah. When you find yourself calling water sky juice, that was me.
I feel like that's just a classic dad joke, but yeah, sure.
That's you would think that, but when you're near the wellspring of philosophical wisdom, you realize how fortunate you are.
A philosophical wisdom. All right, let's get into our segue roll before we continue this. You're very wise. Yeah.
I got nothing.
I'm not going to say you're not wise.
I'm a wise ass. I'll
Yay.
say that. Go. I'm sorry.
Segue wheel.
Ooh, segue wheel. You're
gonna have to give me an accurate metaphor or simile for this first story, which I think is quite short. So you better be quick on the uptake. That's the phrase. This is coming out of Japan. A volcano has erupted in the southwest of Japan, which would be... I don't know what province that is. They'll probably tell me. This is on Kyoto News by Japan itself. There's nobody it says who it's from. Coming out of Kagoshima. There you go.
Ooh,
a volcano on Sukaroima in the Kagoshima prefecture. There you go. Southwestern Japan erupted earlier Sunday morning. So that was yesterday, the 16th of November. Sending a plume of ash and smoke up to a 4,400 meter into the atmosphere. Sorry, did I say miles? I think I said miles. 4,400 meters into the atmosphere, the weather agency has reported. The eruption continued after the initial event, prompting the agency to issue an ashfall forecast for parts of Kagoshima, Kumamoto, the Miyazaki prefectures. No injuries or damage to buildings have been reported. Just a lot of ash. Explosive eruption around 7 a.m. So right on Sunday, like right as the date passed, right? It was probably, if I can do my math correctly, 9 p.m.-ish for me. No, that's not math. That's not correct. That's not correct at all.
What?
7 p.m. for me. I want to say 7 p.m. for me, which means it was like 12. Basically, it was 12 hours ago for most of the United States or North America and South America.
I didn't feel it.
You didn't. It was just an explosive at the Minamadake crater, sent a plume rising above 4,000 meters for the first time since October 18th last year. So it's quite an active volcano. I think they're probably ready for that. According to local meteorological observatory, the latest series of eruptions, large volcanic rocks flew as far as the 5th station from climbing up the mountain, but no pyroclastic flows were detected, which is good because those are very dangerous. That's what killed all those people in Pompeii. They just burned instantly into ash. The alert level remains at 3 on a scale of 5, which restricts access to the mountain. Nobody can go up there unless you're probably a volcano scientist. Sakurajima, one of Japan's most active volcanoes, is linked to the Usuma Peninsula on Kyushu, the country's southwest island. It was once an island, but in 1914, a lava flow created a land bridge. Isn't that just fun? Japan, of course, is still an island itself, but there's so many volcanoes on there, just like Hawaii. Right? You need to be able to create more land with those volcanoes. Who knows how small Japan used to be until I think Mount Fuji probably created Japan, right? That's why they give such praise to Mount Fuji, because it really is the originator of the island. But there's my story. No injuries, just giant ash clouds in the sky.
Yep. My metaphor. Need a metaphor. Volcanoes are like cosmic sulfuric farts.
Yeah.
Volcano eruptions, I mean.
And sometimes your house is covered completely in it.
Yeah, it's legitimately a buildup of gases. That's what it is, and that's what farts are. Right? It's like, oh my God, we can't contain it anymore. She's gonna blow.
He said fart. Ha 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 ha.
Everybody do their impersonation. Oh, Captain, she can't take no more.
And then you became a pirate. My next story, which is a little longer than that.
I've given her warp priest too long.
Is about the forecast for the European economy for this year and next year, even due to the stupid trade war we have in the US. The European Commission has raised its forecast for Spain by 0.3 of a percentage point to 2.9, the same level to which the Spanish government will forecast tomorrow. The reason we're focusing on Spain is this article is from El País, which is a Spanish paper, but I'm sure they'll talk about everyone else too. This is from Manuel V. Gomez. The European economy is set to emerge from the trade war with the United States, and the tariff increases in better shape than anticipated. The Eurozone is projected to grow by 1.3% this year and 1.2% next year, plus still an increase, 4 3/10 of a percentage point higher than the forecast last spring, according to the European Commission's own projections. Forecasts for the European Union as a whole have also increased, reaching 1.4% growth for both 25 and 26 The strong first quarter of this year, driven by the acceleration of exports therefore that began in spring, resilience of the labor market, which is supporting consumption and investments by European Recovery Fund, explain the figures presented by the Commission today, the 2nd of November. So, everyone was ready for the tariff war, and we were able to survive it. This isn't one country or group of countries that can explain or capitalize on the economic forecast presented by the Commission. The vast majority of member states emerged from the autumn review in a positive light. Only Estonia, Luxembourg, and Austria lowered. The increase even extends to Germany, the largest European economy, which has been mired in a structural crisis that has kept it practically stagnant since the first Russian soldier officially invaded Ukraine in February 2022. They had a lot of ties to Russia. They had to start snipping those ties, and snipping those ties with no replacement leaves your economy stagnant. It's not a significant rise, barely 0.2% this year, from 0% to 0.2 and 1/10 year next year, which is 1.1 to 1.2. But it does contribute to an overall improvement, even if it's small. The improvement also extends to Spain, which has once again established itself as the fastest growing major EU, especially if you start out from rock bottom. I've only lived here for 8 years, but people I talked to about Spain always say their economy was awful, especially after they joined the EU. It was bad. So I did study some economics. Only one course, but yeah, it's good that Spain's rising up because they started very low. Brussels forecasts a 2.9% this year, the same figure that the Spanish government projects in the macro outlook it will present tomorrow, on the 8th of November, as reported by El País. Activity will cool slightly next year. Growth is expected to reach 2.3. This is 0.6 of a percentage point lower, and in any case, 0.1 of a percentage point higher than the government's forecast. But it will still be almost double the rate projected as a whole. Because we're predicting 1.2, they're getting 2.3, which is way more than almost double 2. The government, guided by this data that maintains the growth momentum in line with what analysts are doing, including the forecast of Spain, will update its macroeconomic outlook, raising its forecast to 9, confirmed the Minister of Economy, Carlos Pedro, in an appearance before Congress, the Spanish Congress. Resilience of the labor market, both in Europe and in Spain, has been key to the economy's momentum. This is undoubtedly more true in Spain, where rival migrants have been a determining factor explaining job growth. Wait, did you guys hear that? Migrants increased job growth, and the economy got better. Don't tell the anti-immigrant people this. You might have a successful economic country. Oh no, not that. If we have a successful economic country, who are we supposed to be angry at? The government? They can't be angry at us. They have to be angry at the migrants. Look over there.
Did you know that MAGA in the United States believes that migrants are driving up the prices of houses by not owning any houses anywhere?
I can believe that because that's what here in the Netherlands believe. They think that all of the houses are given away to migrants. Like they get first pick. Like if I migrated here without a house, I'd be like, oh, welcome to the Netherlands. Here's a house. That is not happening, but they think that's happening.
Meanwhile, immigrants are the ones building the houses. Anyway, back to your story.
It's crazy. But like I said, right, this whole anti-immigrant stuff is just a tool to distract people from what the government's doing, right? Oh, why is everything suck in this country?
Laughs their way
it's not the government, it's the migrants. Look over there. It's just a distraction. Okay.
Was that the whole story?
No, I'm still going. Sorry, it looked like you wanted to say more, but then you took a drink of water, so I.
Oh, I just wanted to make a point before it slipped out of my old feeble brain, which doesn't hold things too long, unless they're really.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, therefore, when explaining risks Spain could face in the future, the Commission points out that a more pronounced slowdown in migration flows than anticipated could reduce the dynamism of the labor market. Let's make that into simple speech. If there's less migrants coming into Spain to do jobs, their economy will slow down and people will make less money.
Right.
So they need people to migrate to Spain. Otherwise,
We need to update birth rates. We need
Yeah.
to update the birth rates count in these countries that don't want immigrants and see who the hell's going to do these jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Your birth rates falling, but hey, whatever. You got
Our
nobody to
economy's still
fill
going
your
up, thanks to
teaching
those
job, your
migrants.
doctor job.
Leading to a less favorable
Nobody's building
prospect for the
anything.
private consumption and investment. So if there's less migrants coming in, the labor market drops, the dynamism of the labor market drops. There's going to be less prospects for private consumption and investment. For the EU as a whole, the Commission emphasizes that the agreement reached this summer between Washington and Brussels provides more certainty regarding trade than 6 months ago when the spring forecasts were going up. The European Commission prepares 2 weeks here. They're expecting tariff war to really fuck up the economy, but it ended up not doing that as much. The general tariff of 15% on the exports from Europe to the other sides of the Atlantic is the highest level in almost a century, explains the document from the Directorate General for Economic and Financial Affairs, EU. However, the text also cautiously points out that this tariff is lower than those of other U.S. trading partners, giving the European economy a relative advantage. Nevertheless, this advantage is framed within the context of moderate export, a strong euro. So keep that euro strong, explains the contention lies and mitigate its benefits. What helps prevent the anemic economy in recent years from being worse than it has been this year. The resilience of the labor markets, unemployment rates in the EU and the Eurozone, so that's including the Schengen zone, aren't actually in the EU, will continue to hover around 6%. We repeat that again, the unemployment in the Eurozone is 6%. That's very low.
That's pretty high. That's pretty high.
Well, it's been higher, I guess. So for here, it's pretty low. This is an average percentage of all the countries. In countries rates such as Spain's, where the unemployment rate was 10% to 6% for the first time in about 50 years. See, there's certain countries.
Problem with an average.
Yeah, it's an
You
average.
should probably use a median. You should probably use a
maybe.
median in a calculation like that.
But
Because say if
either
you've got
way,
an average,
There's countries
Yeah,
like
I'm just
Spain
saying,
who
okay.
are on first at 10%, right? And it's falling between 10% since the last 15 years. So Germany's, of course,
at least
is
throw
at
it
3.5%, which basically
Right.
indicates a full employment despite its economic studies. Kind of got that's a good example. The max and
For
the min
statistical
right there, right?
analysis.
Germany's at 3, Spain's at 10, and somewhere in the middle, 6%. They decided that's the average.
Well, what I would say was on a statistical analysis of a small sample size like that, you're best off to use
Do
either
you
a
think
median
30 states
or
is a
if you're
small
going to
sample
average.
size?
What?
Do you think
Yeah,
30
small sample size. Under
Different
100 is a
countries?
very small sample size.
Yeah, but-
very small
no.
sample size. You're averaging, yes. When you're averaging, you need a big sample. The best measurement would be either to use a median, the one country directly in the middle, or take out the extremes. Take out the one at the extreme end at one and extreme end, and then do an average. Because I'm just saying, statistical analysis on a small scale, averages really don't inform the decision. If I am in a room with Bill Gates, the average wealth of the both of us is $100
I
billion.
mean, to be fair, I'm
So,
not
I don't have
as somebody
$100
who's
billion.
reading this from a Spanish paper, which has been translated. Maybe it is the median, but they've translated
Could be.
it into English to average. I have no idea. I'm not looking at the actual.
I'm sorry,
paper. Yeah.
I've gone down the tracks here a little bit. Sorry.
I'm not reading the actual report from the EU. I'm just reading what El País is
Pull this
saying.
train back into the station. Let's
Barring
turn
any
around, get back
unforeseen
on the track.
circumstances, runaway inflation is now largely behind the Eurozone. Prices are currently hovering
Wow.
around 2%, and this trend is expected to
Wow.
continue until 27. They're predicted for 2 years. This is good news for the
Wow.
European Central Bank, as it puts inflation within the target range set by the central bank, suggesting stability in policy. This, in turn, facilitates the granting of loans on favorable terms and encourages business investments. On the public sector side, the Recovery Fund and other EU financial instruments stand out as a cushioning the impact of its fiscal station in several member states. This support underpins domestic demand, which is expected to be the main driver of the forecast horizon, explains. But fiscal consolidation varies from region to region, or even from country to country. The EU, some are reducing their debt burdens, such as Portugal, which will reduce it to around 90% the 3-year period from 25 to 27, or Spain, which will reach a 97% reduction in years. These are still very high levels, but they represent significant progress when compared to the figures from just 5 years ago, which predicted 120%. So,
wow.
Damn. The two Iberian countries, Portugal, much more than Spain. El Pais would say that, they're biased. Portugal is doing way worse than us. They've surpassed the 3% deficit target set by Stability and Growth Pact. They will end their fiscal year in a better position than the whole, or the Eurozone, where this key percentage established the signing of the Maastricht Treaty in 1992 will be easily exceeded. Much of this will be due to the increase in defense budgets, which according to the Commission's figure rise from 1.5% of GDP in 2024 to 2% in 2027. Of course, there's some countries which are tax-free, like Poland. They're part of the Eurozone as well. But there is your economic splurge for the Eurozone, which is doing well, even when the U.S. was trying to basically weaken their position with all these 15% tariffs.
So I got a metaphor for tariffs, which you started out in a tariff thing, so I think that was in your headline even, right? So,
well, I would say like this whole thing is reflective of the tariffs, right? They were worried the economy was going to do bad.
So my metaphor is tariffs are like a tax on efficiency. Why do I say that? Why do things become cheaper for citizens of another country? Because the company that makes them has figured out how to make them cheaper. And for instance, a Chinese electric vehicle, even though it's got 100% tariff in the United States, and that wasn't put on by Trump, by the way, that was put on by Joe Biden. Joe Biden put 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, and they're still cheaper than American-made electric vehicles.
That is crazy. Yeah.
So it went from 25, which was a sweetheart deal, because American jobs, we're trying to protect American jobs, and I do get the tariff on that, right? We haven't quite figured out how to be official as the Chinese because we have to pay our workers, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what tariffs are for. They're actually you guys, you're cheating because you don't pay your workers. That's kind of what tariffs are.
And to be fair, by the way, yeah, and that's why I say they're supposed to be like. That's why it's called a trade war. When you start putting tariffs on things, that's why it's called a trade war. You're saying we want to manufacture what's being traded on the global market by putting tariffs on that and not putting tariffs on.
Yeah, me as an intelligent, educated human being, I understand what tariffs have a purpose. However, the capitalists out there hates tariffs. You know why? He's trying to be efficient. Add this extra thing, it makes my stuff cost more. How would you do that to me? I'm a rich guy. So they hate tariffs, which makes me wonder why they support Trump. Are they all getting sweetheart deals? Weird, huh? Yeah.
Thank you for your
That's my little diatribe, isn't it?
I think that went a little longer than I wanted to, but we got a lot of conversation out of it.
Tariffs,
so let's go to our
I will say, tariffs are not 100% a bad. They're not 100% a bad thing. They're just misapplied when they're just. We're going to threaten you. That's
economics. That's what they are. All these things hostility. Are tools.
Yeah. Hostile, punitive tariffs are not an economic theory. They're just bullying. That's all they are. And if you like being bullied, go ahead. Acquiesce. I don't know why you would, but hey, go ahead. Did you spin? Because I got a story.
I'm going to spin again because I got the same thing. I just should spin it
same thing as me?
But whatever the third thing. Oh my god, it's going to land on the same thing. Mixed metaphor. Okay, that's different.
You just got to take
me to your story and I'll mix you a metaphor.
We were just talking about the horrible ideas that rich people come up with that end up screwing the poor people in the end because we're short-sighted as they are. It's a kind of a human foible. We're all kind of short-sighted. We think about tomorrow. We'll think about next year some other time.
Yeah, next year it's so far away, and the next thing you know, it's tomorrow.
If you want, I'll explain succinctly as I can the subprime mortgage collapse in 2008. Banks loaned money to home buyers who did not qualify in any way to buy a home. I say that again. They didn't have enough money. Their credit rating was poor. Didn't care. Also, another thing that happened is inspectors came in. The evaluators, the people, the appraisers came in and overappraised the value of every home, right? Even there is nothing to base it on other than we want to get us Probably kickbacks involved. Who knows? Who knows? So the subprime mortgages are written like this. 2% mortgage. You can afford that. Hell yeah, I can afford that. Fine print. This interest rate is variable after 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Okay, 5 years down the line, now your fixed interest rate is tied to the whatever index they decide to tie it to. Standards and Poor's. Who knows? Nobody reads the fine print. They're just glad they got a house. Now your mortgage has gone up about 100%, 300% in 1 month. You can't afford it. You start cutting back. You still can't afford it. You have your car repossessed. You still can't afford it. Now your credit rating's terrible. You can't even borrow money anymore. And now you just default. And this happened over and over and over and over in America. And that's what happened in 2008. Because the investment banks were owned by commercial banks. And the government had to bail out the commercial banks. And here we go. We're making that same cake again. Here's one of the first ingredients. Fannie Mae scraps minimum credit score for DU loans. Oh boy, Fannie Mae, the people who really got bailed out by the United States taxpayer last time. Nope, they didn't get disbanded or discredited or, taken out back and shot. Doing the same crap, just a little bit higher interest rates, perhaps, a little bit minimum credit score. But now they're getting rid of the minimum credit score. Fannie Mae has announced, this is from, mpamag.com. Fannie Mae scraps minimum credit score for DU loans. We'll explain what that is later. Fannie Mae has announced it will eliminate 620 minimum credit score. 620 is not that high. I get terrible credit and I'm in the 700s. Requirement for loans processed through the desktop underwriter. That's what DU means. Effective November 16th, which was yesterday, 2025. The change, detailed in the latest DU version 12.0 release notes and selling guide update, represents a major shift in mortgage eligibility and could help more borrowers with lower credit scores build solid finances, lower credit scores but solid finances. It'll help them qualify for loans. Unfortunately, they're probably just going to let anybody. They're not even having a low credit score, minimum credit score anymore. They're just getting rid of the credit score requirement altogether. Bill Pulte, U.S. Director of Federal Housing, noted Friday on his X account that this would be a small change for underwriting, but a bigger deal for consumers, right? You'll go buy that house you can't afford. Go ahead. Our underwriting standards are the same, Pulte said in the X post, as a process matter to ensure 2 scores can't be used and not just one. We eliminated requirement for FICO in the infamous guide. Big deal for consumers, small or nothing deal for underwriting. Underwriting just going to look at your loan and go, why'd you write this alone? Here, I'll tell you what, we'll underwrite this loan, but you got to charge them 27%. Beautiful. But give them a teaser rate. Give them a teaser rate. That's what's going to happen over and over. It's going to keep happening. Instead of relying on a hard credit score cutoff, DU will now evaluate a broader set of credit risk factors, including the borrower's credit history, income, debt levels, property characteristics, and loan purpose. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come up with their own score, because they're going to have to be a scored, right? They're going to be like, hey, let's get a 5. So they're probably just going with their own score, which is basically the same thing. DU risk assessment reflects a comprehensive evaluation of credit risk factors from the borrower's credit report along with non-credit risk factors from the loan application. Fannie Mae stated in release notes, the minimum representative credit score requirement of 620 will be removed from a new loan cease files created on or after November 16, 2025. Okay. Cease files is a new word for me. The requirement will be replaced with a minimum credit risk standard based on the credit risk factor evaluation within the DU credit risk assessment. Big fancy words that says we're going to figure this a new way. There's your story. We could finish it with this last paragraph. The changes come as the mortgage sector faces ongoing debates about the relevance of credit scores and risk assessments, while Fannie Mae's DU and Freddie Mac's loan product advisor systems increasingly rely on holistic risk models. Credit scores remain a required part of the mortgage process and compliance. Fannie Mae fudging the numbers so they can write loans and repossess houses. And there we go. We're going to make some money on the back end. On
actual
this one.
evil.
Don't worry
things.
about it. Somebody
this
makes
is
money.
what evil stuff is.
Yeah, right. It's a coke dealer getting you hooked on crack. That's who it is. Go on. But again, I don't blame anybody. I would do it. I would definitely apply for one of these loans. I'm right there. I want a house, right? I can finally afford a house. Everybody's like this. And in the end, they blame the consumer. That's what they do every time. All right, so go ahead.
This financial tether is going to leave us stuck behind a rock in a hard place.
That's right. There you go. That's perfect. Let me get the applause meter out here.
I'm good at the mixed metaphors, I have to say. I've never.
Oh, yeah, you are, man.
You have.
Home appreciates it way too much. I got another story.
I know you have another one.
So we're going to talk. Yeah, I got one more story here, and it's about the elections in Chile. It's a short one. So this is DW.com. John Silk with a smooth story from John Silk. Chile far left, far right candidates. So somebody's going to have to meet in the middle somewhere, I think. Communist lawmaker Ginette Yara and far right Jose Antonio Cast were set to head to a runoff vote after coming first and second, respectively, in the first round of Chile's presidential election on Sunday. Neither contender passed 50% threshold needed to avoid a runoff slated for November 14th. With 99% votes counted, Yara, a 51-year-old communist running on behalf of an 8-party coalition, was on 26.8, while Cass had acquired 24% of the vote, according to the Serval Electoral Service. Don't let fear harden your hearts, Yara said as she took the lead during the vote count. Recognizing Yara and Cass as leaders of the 8-candidate field, even as results are still coming in, Chile's current president, say it properly, Gabriel Boric, expressed hope that a dialogue, respect, and love for Chile will prevail over any differences. Chile's far-right presidential candidate, John Antonio Cast, that's his name, Jose Antonio Cast. Cast vowed Sunday to rebuild Chile following 4 years of center-left rule. Rebuild it. 59-year-old Cast is tipped to win the runoff, despite polling lower than Yara on Sunday. Sunday was the first presidential election in Chile since voting has made mandatory and the registration of voters automatic, with over 15.7 million. I wouldn't count on polling to tell you what's going to win the election, because you just had an election, and if this guy was going to be more popular, he would have won. So since he came in second, and these people want to sit there and tell me that, it doesn't mean anything, I'm saying he came in second. So the people who, the 76% who didn't vote for him, maybe he isn't their second choice either. This is where, when you have more than one people on the ballot, you should have ranked elections. But there's a story. I know you got a mixed metaphor for it, even though it was really short. At least you don't have to write a limerick, or even recite a limerick, or...
No, I don't actually have one, because that was really short. Let's just say...
Metaphor for elections.
Yeah, let's just say that, let's not kick a gift horse in the teeth.
Let's not.
I mean, like you said, right, it's an easy, you've got an easy choice. The far right guy and the not far right guys.
Yeah, what they're saying is, we're afraid of we're afraid of a communist. But I'm thinking, holy crap, a communist get 28% of the vote. Chile's probably really fed up with the oligarchy, right? Mm-hmm. Because I'm just saying communism is a panacea that's going to solve anything, but you really are fed up with voting for the communists.
I mean, there's a lot of political theory that say communism only exists as something born out of capitalism, right?
Yeah, it's a last resort. Yeah, it's a final resort of capitalism. God damn it, we just kill all the rich people and share everything. And of course, as soon as you try to make everything equal, you got somebody who wants to make a profit.
This is what happened. As soon as we started letting one person have more stuff than us, they decided to pull the power and telling us what to do.
I don't even watch the stock market anymore. I watch the precious metals.
Yeah,
since precious metals been going through the roof, or hedge against inflation, or hedge against the stock market.
You mentioned silver and gold.
platinum, right? I'm going to keep selling this because look who's buying these. It ain't a bunch of poor people driving up these prices. Right? Silver didn't just double because a bunch of poor people bought it. It's a bunch of people that, oh, we need the big precious metals because we don't trust this economy at all. And yeah, so the smart people are buying precious metals.
Anyways.
Take your cryptocurrency today if you own it. Buy some gold or some platinum, right? Now, like do it now. It's gonna crash. This subprime shit's gonna make it worse. All right.
This is not.
That's my advice. Stop trying to get rich. You're rich enough.
Do not take this as economic advice, please.
Take it to the bank.
No, literally. No, I don't want to get sued later because somebody decided.
You can't sue me.
And
right. These opinions expressed by this show are merely mine as a financial advisor alone. And I'm telling you, as an unpaid financial advisor, if you own cryptocurrency and you got like, oh my God, my Bitcoin's worth 40,000. I'm like, take that 40,000, buy some gold right now, right? Right now. This is what you've been waiting for your entire life. Buying gold. Thinking about that. You can actually take it home and shit, right? Anyway.
Let's roll our next segue.
I'm not talking about gold futures. I mean gold. I don't mean gold futures. You got to go through the stock market for that shit. No. Buy actual gold.
Don't trust the stock market.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
I need a re-roll because we're rolling the same things twice every time.
Pawn shops are buying like a motherfucker. I'll tell you that.
Wonder what's controlling this alliteration headline. There we go, something different. We're gonna be talking about
running our wheel.
Speaking of Chilean elections, Hungary has another election coming up, and we're trying to I am fully biased against Orban. I think not only is he destroying Hungary as a country, but he's also incredibly, like, he doesn't want to be in the EU, but he needs the EU, and he just needs to shut up. This is from AP News by Justin Spike coming out of Budapest. With Hungary's parliamentary elections still 5 months away, the country is already immersed in an intense political campaign for Prime Minister Orban, who I think should be in a term limit and not be allowed to run again, and his challenger, Peter Magyar, promises to be the biggest challenge to the nationalist sphere. I love how we call Viktor Orban a nationalist. He's a Russianist, okay? He wants Russia to take over Hungary, and he wants to run it the same way Russia runs Russia. Elected for a first term in 1998, and then for 4 more terms in 2010. That's 5 terms total. Call me an American, but fuck that. Orban has stood as Hungary's helm for 20 years. 2 decades. Beloved by his supporters, but accused by his critics of corruption and authoritarian tactics. I mean, he's been elected. How is that not authoritarian? He has overseen a political system in which his far-right Fidesz party has exercised unchecked power. Yeah, not authoritarian at all. But now support for Europe's longest-serving leader is declining amid poor economic performance and is cozying into Russia, I would say. Chronic inflation and a challenger who has shifted the political tides of seeking to dismantle Orban's system, put Hungary on a more prosperous, democratic track. Not democracy. Orban's allergic to that. Viktor Orban's despicable corrupt government do everything to preserve their stolen loot, their power, and we have no doubt. Magyar, a former Fidesz insider, told the Associated Press, this power cannot be reformed. It is not able to regain contact with the people. This power has become inhumane. Most polls show Magyar and his Hisza party with a solid lead over Orban's Fidesz, a feat nearly unprecedented for any opposition in the past decades. Probably due to, I'm gonna throw you in prison for your anti-government blah blah blah, you're trying to kill us. I'm trying to get elected, asshole. Many observers in Hungary have puzzled over how Magyar, unlike Generation Orban's previous political movements, has in fewer than 2 years managed to emerge from relative obscurity to build a party with support. Maybe he's being paid. Andros Biro-Nagy, director of the Budapest-based policy solution think tank, says Magyar's near-constant grassroots campaigning in rural Hungary and his focus on bread and butter issues like the cost of living and poor public services Why does my bus only come every 2 hours? I can't get to my doctor's appointments. Don't worry, I will be running on a campaign of getting you more bus routes. Wow, I'm voting for you right away. I've contributed to this success in town, and that traditionally gravitates from nationalist message. On Thursday, which was the 20th, sorry, not the 20th, 13th of November, Magyar visited Pop, a community of fewer than 4,000 people in southwestern Hungary. The stop was on dozens of plans across the country on a tour he called Road to Victory. 100 filled the town's socialist-era community center and listened to Magyar speak for like 2 hours. As Erika Bognar, a 76-year-old retiree, walked into the event, she declared angrily that her monthly pension was $5 on, and that she wanted a system change because this system sucks. Everywhere in the shops, people are grumbling that they can't make ends meet. She said, "We live in misery." They have been Bognar's experience reflects that of many Hungarians who are dissatisfied with the country's economy. The European Union has frozen 15 billion euros or $16 billion in funding for advisors.
Wow.
In funding
really?
to Hungary over the rule of law and corruption concerns. A deficit that has exacerbated chronically stagnant economic performance. That's right. The reason that these euros are being frozen, by the way, is because, sadly, right, this is what I mean by they need to rely on the European Union to even survive. Hungary does not have a good economy without help from the European Union, but they're constantly doing stuff to piss off the European Union, so the European Union's been like, okay, you don't need any of this, right? You don't like us so much, you want to go join Russia? We're gonna take this, the stuff we've been giving to Hungary so that your economy doesn't collapse. Because obviously you don't want it. Orban's government has sought to mitigate the economic pain by introducing price caps on products to woo voters with pre-election government spending like low interest rates for first-time home buyers and abolishing income tax for others with children. Still, Bognar says she's rarely voted in elections until now, blames Orban's government for rising costs of living, believes that Magyars elected if it gets any worse. That's for sure. Orban has sought to portray his opponent as an existential danger, that through his inexperience and alleged foreign alliances, you're in a fucking economic union. Shut up about foreign alliances. Leave the EU if you don't want to be in a foreign alliance. I don't understand this guy, right? Oh, foreigners are putting their nose in our business. You join the economic union. It's their job to be in your business, to make sure the rest of the union doesn't get fucked up. They would bankrupt the country and drag it into the war in the neighboring Ukraine. Allegations Magyar has denied, because if they help Ukraine, the EU would also have to be. Unlike nearly every other EU leader, Orban has refused to supply Ukraine with economic aid or weapons to assist in defense against Russia's invasion. He's still crossing that fingers for good old Daddy Putin to give him a lick of that boot. He's also cast the EU as an oppressive force because they tell us what to do. It's almost like we joined a union and compared the bloc to the Soviet Union. Hello? Hello? This guy's living in a different reality, which dominated and occupied
the Soviet Union.
The TSL party Orban has alleged is nothing more than an EU project contrived in Brussels to topple his government and install a puppet regime that would drain Hungary's finances into Ukraine and even involve it directly in the war. What finances? Your economy is crap without EU support. What finances? It's already borrowed to begin with. Whoever thinks that they support a change in government is reality supporting the war, whether they know it or not.
Get your own currency, Hungary.
Speech to tens of thousands. There are many Hungarians who believe that they are supporting a good cause when they support Brussels and its puppet government candidates. We must tell them Brussels today is not a source of help, but a source of danger. Orban's propaganda message is amplified by a sprawling pro-government media empire, literally propaganda, that has dominated Hungary's political discourse for more than a decade. We're great! Orban's great! Keep voting for him! Everything's amazing! Don't pay attention to how you can't afford to buy milk. Beardo Nagay noted that the past several Hungarian elections were deemed free but not fair by the Organizations for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which found a pervasive overlap between the messaging of Fidesz and the government, as well as a biased news coverage that limited voters' opportunity to make an informed choice. All I keep on hearing about is Orban, so I guess I'll keep voting for him because that's the only person I know. Sandor Rofrix, a member of the local TISA activist group in Cobb, said outside Magyar's event that he believes money is no object for Fidesz, even state money. He will spend a lot of public money on this campaign, which is illegal in a lot of countries. And you can't use government money to fund your next election. That is incredibly biased. Magyar himself acknowledges that his party has switched to campaign, portraying the contest as a David and Goliath struggle. We're essentially facing a machine with a philosophy, propaganda, secret services, and limited government money. In addition to traditional opposition, liberal, and centrist voters, TISA has also reached out to disaffected Fidesz supporters and voters with more conservative views. Magyar says his party does not define itself along ideological lines, but campaigns on the image of functioning in country, bringing the EU money home, introducing anti-corruption measures, and welcoming everyone into the community. With 5 months until the ballot, TISA still leading.
5 months?
Sense
Jesus.
of a desire for change in the towns and villages he visits on his campaign tour. Despite his party's lead, I think you should never look down or underestimate your opponent, especially not Viktor Orban. He is an experienced player and has a lot to lose in this election, perhaps more than just the prime minister's seat. I hope he loses all
I thought this was an impending
idea
election.
of ever running again. That's what I hope. He loses, never runs again, and then he goes and lives in Moscow with his boyfriend. That's what I want. Here's my story on the Hungary election.
Man.
Rising up.
My camera.
Your camera's doing something weird, so I can't see you. The Hungary's getting heated, I should say. It's not, it's not starting yet, but it's starting to heat up. And if you're living in Hungary, you need to make your decision now. And start making your decisions now on who you're going to vote for.
Okay, I thought it was an impending election, like next week or something.
No.
It's in 5 months. It's time for that guy to get assassinated or something, disappear somehow. Ugh. They ain't gonna have an election in 5 months. It'll be Orban against nobody. Something will happen to them.
Yeah.
You have any faith in this crap?
Yeah.
Anyway, here's your headline: Obstructing Orban offers only oligarchy.
You go. I have all the money, and you get none. Woohoo!
You get told what to do and where to do it and how often. Congratulations, you vote for oligarchy. People that are no smarter than you, they just got more money.
Hell
so they
yeah.
figured out how to game the system. Yeah, they figured out how to game the system. I guess you want to be like them. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds like my next story. I have another one. Sorry, that one was a bit long, but this one's shorter.
It's really long.
Holden sabotage.
Okay.
Speaking of the Ukraine war, we've got some war happening. Well, not war. Some sabotage happening in Poland, which will probably, if Russia descends to escalate, will be the first countries to get invaded after Ukraine. This is by Martin Fornusek on the Kyiv Independent. A railway track between Warsaw and Lublin was blown up in an unprecedented act of sabotage, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk announced today on November 17th. The Polish Prime Minister noted that the route is crucially important for delivering aid to Ukraine, which we will catch the perpetrators where they are, Tusk said on Twitter. Warsaw has been raising alarm over mounting cases of sabotage and espionage activities targeting Poland in recent years, with numerous incidents to Russian or Belarus intelligence services. Local police said a train driver reported damage on the railway line on November 16th. The explosion occurred near the village of Mika, in the Macedonia province, some 130 kilometers, 80 miles from the Polish border. According to Tusk, the explosion was likely intended to blow up the train. Polish authorities have launched an investigation into the incident, suspecting another segment of railway that was also damaged. The Polish military will examine approximately 120 kilometers or 75 miles of railway track leading to the Ukrainian border. Polish Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz said. The Ukraine Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha informed Kyiv's solidarity with friendly Poland following an act of sabotage, said Ukraine is ready to assist. The Ukrainian top diplomat voiced hope that the investigation would provide answers, while suggesting it could have been another Russian hybrid attack designed to test responses. Yes, same thing as the drones. How quick, if we invade Poland and Lithuania and Latvia and all those countries, if we invade them, how will NATO respond? Let's keep poking the bear. See if the bear will attack us. Poland has said Russia has intensified hybrid operations against the country due to the Polish Ukraine all-out war, sharing a 535-kilometer, 332-mile border with Ukraine. Poland has served as a key hub for delivering Allied military assistance to Kyiv. I mean, the only way to get into Ukraine, if you want to get there, is from a train from Poland to Ukraine. You can't get in there any other way. All the other borders are closed, as far as I know. Last I was updated on. In early September, Polish and Allied forces shot down several Russian drones that violated Poland's airspace amid an airstrike, and marking the first such engagement by NATO. They actually had to call in some jets to shoot them down. So it wasn't just like some anti-stuff for the drones. There's your smaller update on Poland getting attacked by somebody, either Belarus or Russia. I think we expect internal espionage agents, perhaps people working for Russia or English living.
Oh, here's your headline. Sabotage stage seems suspiciously similar to Sebastopol, which is in Crimea. Crimea's capital city.
Thank you for the alliteration. And that's my story.
Working the old geography.
Let's roll our wheel for your story.
I will. I guess we're going to talk about a death sentence handed down to Bangladesh. His ex-prime minister. What do we get?
The same thing again. This wheel is pissing me off.
Man. This is, while you spin, this is from DW.com. Farah.
Whatever, I'm just going to do reminds me of a song.
And Katie Harrison sign. Reminds you of a song. Farah, okay, just pick whatever off the wheel because it's broken. Yeah. We're just sitting here watching the wheel go round and around. That's a song it reminds me of. Indian Forest Ministry released a statement following the sentencing saying New Delhi has noted the verdict announced by the International Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh concerning former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The ministry went on to stress India's commitment as a close neighbor to the best interests of Bangladeshi people. Anyway, so let's do the story. And there's a whole bunch of nothing there. Video loading. Okay, here we go. The Bangladeshi foreign minister has renewed its call to the Indian government to hand over former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and former Interior Minister Asaduzzaman Kamal. That's a mouthful. We just call them there's a bunch of A's in there, right? A bunch of them. After they were sentenced to death over the deadly crackdown on the 2024 uprising. Yeah, shooting innocent people should have consequences. Both Hasina and Kamal have refused to return to Bangladesh for the trial, no surprise, and have consistently rejected the court's authority. Yeah, the hell with it. We'll stay in India. Dhaka said that New Delhi had an obligation to hand them over, citing the extradition treaty between the two countries. We urge the government of India to immediately extradite the two convicts to the Bangladeshi authorities, the ministry said. Bangladeshi warned that granting asylum to these convicts would be extremely unfriendly and affront to justice. Bangladesh, a neighbor of India, probably one of the poorest countries in the world. There's a lot of graphics with this that loaded, so I have to scroll quite a bit. We haven't had an official reaction from the Indian government yet, but the fact that the India has allowed Sheikh Hasina to stay in exile for over a year is being seen as a statement in itself. Even before the trial, the India-Bangladesh relation has been impacted with the new interim government in Dhaka, which has been seeking Hasina's and the former Home Minister's extradition. India hasn't responded to that request, despite there being an extradition pact between the two countries. India has long, deep ties with Bangladesh and with the Hasina family, and that is not the first time that she's been in exile in the country. She keeps fucking up people in Bangladesh and running off to India. What? In the 1970s, when her father and other family members were killed.
Right? She's been unreliable, so you just have to get rid of her, I guess.
I mean, there's two sides to every story. I guess. I don't know. Well, whatever. I mean, totalitarian leaders are awful. They're just awful.
And they're
in the
all
1970s when a father...
There's just less women in government. That's why you don't ever see
Oh.
women doing it, because there's just less of them. They're just as likely.
Yeah. Yeah, they inherited the brutality and the... Oh, of course I'm in charge. Why wouldn't I be? In the 1970s, when her father and her other family members were killed in a military coup in Bangladesh, she and her sister were given exile by the Indian government. Can't blame her for that. She was a child. And this is the second time she's found exile there. India also played a huge role in Bangladesh's independence struggle from Pakistan in 1971, which was led by Sheikh Hasina's father, Mujibur Rahman, who went on to become president of the country. So it's in that context, India's position becomes very precarious. And obviously, this is going to have an impact on the future of relationships between countries. And it remains to be seen how India is going to walk that tightrope. It does remain to be seen, doesn't it? Bangladesh Prime Minister, that's for our picture caption. Bangladesh's former Prime Minister has called the verdict and sentencing on her crimes against humanity trial biased and politically motivated. The verdicts announced against me have been made by a rigged tribunal established and presided over by unelected government with no democratic mandate. I am not afraid to face my accusers in a proper tribunal where the evidence can be weighed and tested fairly. That's why I've repeatedly challenged the interim government to bring these charges before International Criminal Court. Yeah, there you go. There's two sides of this, right? We don't know necessarily what the hell we're being suppressed or done with here. It's a confusing place, right? To me, it's confusing. All this stuff is confusing. It's always been confusing. Why don't you just take care of your people? It won't be a problem. You wouldn't need strongmen or anybody to just continue to what's the word? Prop up your power, the power trip you're on because you've always been powerful.
Maybe.
It doesn't do anything for me. So you were just powerful. Now you're not powerful. Who cares anymore? Go away. Convicted minister expects India to resist pressure from Bangladesh. She says, let's see. I guess the reporter's reporting this. Just spoke on the phone to the long name, the other guy accused, Azza Khan Kamal, the former home minister for Bangladesh, who has also been given a death sentence. Kamal, currently in India, said he believes the tribunal is invalid and unconstitutional. So we get to get his point of view on this too, since he's other person been condemned to death, and there's no chance they're going to go back voluntarily. I know I wouldn't. So there's your story. You have a song. Hope you have a song.
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law,
right.
Breaking the law. There's your song.
Judas Priest.
For being
Judas
perhaps, right, like corrupt, running away. I mean, being up for trial and running away so you can't go into trial is pretty corrupt. I can at least say that.
I don't know. It seems like a military tribunal is running things. That's another thing.
Yeah, but if you don't go to the tribunal, right? If you just keep avoiding the tribunal,
no chance.
You can never be found guilty, can you?
I have no opinion. I really don't. I just don't know. Is it just they just want to get rid of democracy? Is it she wrong? Are they wrong? Are they both wrong?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm just a piano player. Don't shoot me.
I'm just a piano.
Right. That's my
Okay, is that your only story? You didn't have a second one?
That's it, man. That was long enough.
Yeah,
Holy
you're
crap,
right.
did you want
We've
more of
been
that?
having some, but it is Monday, so I like having longer stories.
Nah, not me, man. I get exhausted after about 5 paragraphs. I want to end. It's like, oh god, this is way too long.
Okay, my next story is our culture. No, sorry, let me roll the wheels. Didn't roll your wheel. If the wheel wants to work, that is.
Oh yeah, we got culture, do we? Now we're gonna pretend we have culture. Hell yeah.
Okay. I need you to associate this story with something. This will be shorter. It's just my culture news. we're going to be talking about AI at Disney. That's right. We're not a big fan of AI here on Before Coffee, especially generative AI. Specifically, I would say I'm a huge not fan of generative AI because it's just stealing a bunch of stuff, coupling it back together, and saying, look, I made something new, except I didn't. I just generated it from other people's shit. Who knows, right? Who knows? You can't even give credit to the inspiration. It's from David Kwan on Euronews Culture. Recent comments made by Disney CEO Bob Iger, who I didn't even know was still alive, has resulted in calls to boycott the streaming service. You'll soon be able to make your own AI content on Disney Plus, and the overwhelming response is that the House of Mouse and remember that creative films are being threatened by misguided favor to embrace artificial intelligence, and we don't mean threatened like, oh, I can't make money off of it. I mean art. The human experience of art is being threatened. You're just going to be looking at AI and it feels like soulless. Disney CEO Bob Iger sparked the online backlash in a recent earnings call for the fourth quarter of 2025, saying that the company was going to allow AI-generated content to Plus so that they can make money. How? Iger says the company was in the midst of rolling out the biggest and most significant changes from a product perspective, from a technological perspective, since Disney Plus launched in 2019. He added, the other things that we're really excited about that AI is going to give us the ability to do is provide users of Disney Plus with a much more engaged experience, including the ability of them to create user-generated content. Consume user-generated content, short from others. They want all those TikTok and YouTube views. Scrolling through YouTube and TikTok? No, scroll through your Disney Plus with this AI-generated content. Understandably, Disney fans weren't best pleased, with some fearing that the ongoing proliferation of AI-generated slop will result in job losses, low-quality content, and the betrayal of what Disney stands for. What does Disney stand for? Money? That's what they've stood for me for a long time. At least a decade or two. Money! That's what they stand for. Others urge Disney Plus subscribers to boycott the platform. I mean, you should still be. I think you should continue boycotting Disney Plus until... You know what? Don't subscribe to anything anymore. Subscribe to Before Coffee on Patreon. That's the only money you should be giving out. To the boycott the platform and head to other animation studios like DreamWorks Nation who have denounced of generative AI. And then we've got some Twitter news with people just, I can't believe they're doing this. Disney doesn't want to make money. Fuck Bob Iger. Fuck Disney. Fuck generative AI. Unsubscribe for Disney. Go pirate down Owl House. I don't care. Fuck.
Is he still running
AI.
Disney?
The creator
He's worried about his
of Owl House said, please pirate my show rather than paying for Disney Plus. Iger clearly didn't read the room. No, he didn't read the room. He's listening to his shareholders. I heard... This is what all the shareholders who have investment in these huge companies are saying. Wait a minute, I heard that you can save a lot of money if you use generative AI and you still get a lot of views. Let's all put that in and everyone's going to love it.
You don't have to pay the actors or the writers.
Oh my
you don't have to pay actors, writers,
the money. Instead of 0.2%, we made 0.8. It's worth it, see? Iger clearly didn't read the room. As creatives have been vocal about, creatives, people who use, consume the content have also been vocal, right? People who aren't even creating anything are like, if you go to any YouTube video, any short, any TikTok, there will be multiple people in the content being like, fake AI, fake AI. Everyone is paranoid. Nobody knows where it is. It's everywhere and nobody likes it. About the existential threat that the encroachment of AI poses to creative fields. Music industry has seen a great number of fake bands, waves, new country act recently topping the chart, an AI controversy erupted earlier this year when a Dutch debut AI actress, Hilly Norwood, which we have talked about on this coffee, and the internet was swift to condemn Coca-Cola for using generative AI to create a visual nightmare of Christmas ads. Have you seen the AI Coca-Cola ad? It's a nightmare. What? You can't stop looking away because you're scared if you look away, you'll get cursed. Right? That's what it's like. Why are we getting so many views on these AI ads? It must be because AI works. No, it's because it looks freakish. People can't stop looking away like an accident on the highway. It seems there's no stopping from sleepwalking creative dystopia. In any hopes that viewers and listeners can distinguish AI slop from perfection is dwindling. It's getting scary. You can actually make a YouTube channel purely based off of showing people what AI slop is. Right? I've been watching the shorts. It's like, here's the proof that this is AI. First of all, this animal is acting. Second of all, the camera is weird. Third of all, the background moves before the foreground moves. That doesn't make any sense. An AI generator, right? We're gonna have to have an entire class on distinguishing AI slop. Indeed, a recent global study conducted by a French streaming service, Deezer, and research firm Ipsos found that a whopping 97% of people cannot tell the difference. So just everything must be AI. Between real music and AI tracks. More reassuring, the survey did find that only 90% said they felt that they could trust AI, while another 51% said they would use of AI in music production to a generic sounding music. I agree. I think I am not a fan of AI music. I've heard some tracks and like it makes me feel dead inside. It's not only just soulless. It's just like, why is this here? Of course, I could be listening to AI music right now, but at least it's in the background so I don't get copyright strike. But I would not sit down and listen to AI generated music for my own soulful pleasure, right? It makes me feel nuts. It makes me feel just empty. It just makes me feel empty. But there's my story. Shorter, sweeter, dystopian.
I'm associating this with one of these sites. I did a search. I was looking at this. He's a Republican political commentator named Rick Wilson.
Yeah.
He used to work for John McCain. Anyway, he's pretty good because he has a lot of good stuff about anti-Trump stuff. He's really good. Anyway, so I just did a search to see what he had to say about something the other day. Next thing I know, I get a bunch of AI Rick Wilson channels. Like, it's so obviously fucking AI, right? His head's always in the same position. He's always wearing the same shirt. And it's like every video is exactly the same freaking guy with the same head, barely, and his eyes blink at an irregular rate, or they don't blink at all. And I was like, everybody knows this is AI, right? Anyway, I kept reporting it. They keep showing up with a different freaking different channel name. It's so weird.
Very freaky.
Anyway,
stuff.
that's my.
Yeah, I mean, I kept on seeing videos which I thought were videos reporting on something, and then it's just the AI video, right? Like Jimmy Fallon insults Colbert, and then you click it, and it's just an AI story, like AI. This totally happened. Everything. Yeah, these things occurred.
Oh.
Right, buddy.
Okay, well, AI has one good feature. It's voice-activated stuff, and it does correct your spelling somewhat. I definitely use that now for text messaging. I definitely do the voice-activated because my fingers are way
but
too big
that's
for those
old
keys.
technology, and it's not generative AI. I'm specifically talking about generative AI, right?
Well, I'm talking about the spell check being so terrible that I can't use it anymore. I would just use spell and just look, right? I turned off spell check, is what I'm saying. Anyway, sorry.
Thank you for your association. It really is.
Right on.
Here you go.
Somebody think it's this time to call me twice in a row for some reason. I think I gave up.
Let's get ready for this day in history
right,
with our segue wheel. Give me something good, a poem, a joke, some puns maybe.
It is November.
I have summoned a non sequitur. At least it's something different.
All right. Non
Take it away, history man.
Diocletian. In the year 284, Diocletian was acclaimed Roman emperor by his soldiers. Yeah, the old-fashioned way.
The good old, we killed everyone else, I'm the leader now.
Yeah.
Classic.
Who's left? Diocletian, he makes a pretty good meatloaf. Let's make him emperor. I don't know. 1558, at the death of Mary the First, also known as Bloody Mary, not the drink that, alcoholics want to drink at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Bloody Mary was invented in the 1700s. No, that's way too soon.
Bloody Mary was bloody herself in this day because Queen Elizabeth took over, became Elizabeth II, as Queen of England, this day in 1558. 1800, 225 years ago, U.S. Congress held its first session in Washington, D.C. Happy anniversary to Congress. Now, do something proper for people instead of just going, how's this going to affect billionaires? I hope I can get a dinner or two with these billionaires.
I can't give
that guy let me on his yacht. He's important. I'm sorry, what's that?
No, I was just saying, like, what am I supposed to do if I can't give rich people all my money?
I have an important meeting with 7 million billionaires today. I got to go. 1869, after 10 years of construction, the Suez Canal opened on this day. So it's 150 something, 56 years.
Under colonized Egypt.
Suez Canal. 1871, the National Rifle Association, which was decent organization when it started in 1871, was granted a charter by the New York State. The NRA's initial goal was to promote and encourage rifle shooting on a scientific basis. Scientific, eh? And it later became a leading advocate of gun rights. I give them credit. They've definitely made a science of blowing people to smithereens with little chunks of metal. They made a science out of that. Of course, the National Rifle Association is no longer what NRA stands for. Now it stands for Not Really Americans, because it's a Russian organization infiltrated by Putin a long time ago. 1887, British Field Marshal Bernard Law Montgomery was born in, or as they call him affectionately in England, Monty, was born in this day. One of the outstanding Allied commanders in World War II. Was born in London. He could have been prime minister if he wanted to be, but nope. I guess he just didn't want to be that kind of. Good for him, too. Who wants those headaches? 1942, American filmmaker Martin Scorsese was known for this harsh, often violent depictions of American culture. Was born. Happy birthday to Marty Scorsese, turning 83. He's got a few more movies in him, right? As long as Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci are around, right? Hey,
oh no, you might have to look for other new people to hire.
No, Leo. Don't forget Leo. Leo's in a lot of this stuff too.
And Leo will never die because he consumes the blood of 24 or younger girls.
That's right. Leo the vampire. 1950, German athlete Roland Matthes, one of the greatest backstrokers in the history of swimming, was born in East Germany. And he's been stroking his back ever since. 1973. Well, it says backstrokers. I guess that's what it means. Oh, it's swimming. It's a swimming thing. Okay. 1973. Richard Nixon made his famous press conference in which he declared, I am not a crook. I am not a crook. I am merely a highly compromised individual. You must allow for that. I have no principles.
I've been blackmailed.
I must have power at all costs. Do you simpletons not understand that? What? Am I stuttering? Anyway, so that was your precursor to Trump, and we didn't learn anything from that. 1989, massive government demonstrations in Czechoslovakia were set up by police brutality at a demonstration commemorating the 50th anniversary of the suppression of student demonstration in German-occupied Prague, the Prague Spring, as they called it at the time. And under the leadership of Václav Havel, they continued until the communist government resigned. Way to go, Václav Havel, who was an actor who became prime minister of, or president or whatever, of the Czech Republic when they became a non-Soviet state. 2008, the first film adaptation of Stephenie Meyer, Twilight Saga, a vampire-themed series for novels of teenagers, premiered in Los Angeles. I think we are distantly related to her through our German linkage. So happy birthday. I'm sorry. Not happy birthday. Happy getting your film made. 17 years ago, Twilight the movie came out. In 2003, Arnold Schwarzenegger Arnold was inaugurated as governor of California. You little girly man. Republican Arnold Schwarzenegger, Austrian-born American bodybuilder and film actor, was inaugurated on this day as the governor of California following her election. Ousted the sitting governor. For some reason, he is still not considered kind of a perv because he got his maid pregnant. And he's not divorced. He's no longer married. He married into the Kennedy clan, but that was enough for him. He wanted some maid action. So he's got a kid. He's got a kid by the maid. So while he was governor, naughty, Arnie. I'll be back, he said. And then he didn't come back. Featured biography, Auguste Rodin, French sculptor, was born November 12th of 1840. It's not his birthday. Today he died. He died the 17th in 1917 at the age of 77 in Modane, France, or however you pronounce that. Other birthdays today, Lorne Michaels shares a birthday with Martin Scorsese. He was born 2 years later in 1944. Lorne Michaels, the producer from the start, and I think he took a couple of years off, but now he's back. He's been back for a long time with Saturday Night Live. So Lorne Michaels, who started the Canadian, well, he's been back for.
And he's married to Scarlett Johansson. Isn't he?
No.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Way too old for Scarlett. Lorne Michaels is a producer of. He's 80.
I thought he was on the show.
One today. He's turning 81.
I don't know anybody's name.
Lorne Michaels, the original producer. He's Canadian, and you weren't paying attention. That's fine. I don't pay attention all the time either. Lorne Michaels, 81 today. He's 2 years exactly younger than Martin Scorsese. Not married to Scarlett Johansson. That would be the Weekend Update guy whose name escapes me. I'll think of it maybe later. 1949, John Boehner, who was Speaker of the House for a couple of years, was born. RuPaul, American entertainer, trans woman. Not exactly sure what RuPaul prefers to be called. RuPaul. Just call
RuPaul's definitely just a gay man who does drag.
Alrighty, well,
not trans.
Happy birthday to RuPaul, turning 65 today. 65 to RuPaul, who
and he's looking good.
Rose to fame as in the gender bending genre. Let's call it that way. 1978, Rachel McAdams, Canadian actress, is born. So happy birthday to her. And I'll get over this already with the National Day calendar. National Butter Day. I won't make that same bad joke again. National Homemade Bread Day. Bread and butter. Hey, I should make some bread. I can't find the bread pans. I don't know what happened to the bread pans. National Take a Hike Day. So if you want to make some bread, eat some bread and butter, take a hike, because we're all going to enjoy some baklava, which is your Middle Eastern street type dish thing. Baklava. So it's all those things, unless it's more, because it does say see more, and I don't see more. But it's all those things, your mispronunciations, your alliteration headlines, your
baklava
your
is
election
a fish
news.
Thing. It's a it's made out of.
I didn't say fish.
Oh, I thought you said
I
it
said
was
a pastry
fish
thing.
Sorry.
Pastry. I said pastry. Baklava. So it's everything. Yeah. So it's everything today. It's well, anyway, those are your mispronunciations. Your stuff for everything for November 17th, 2025. Before baklava, butter and bread, like they kind of all go together.
Talk about straight up diabetes. Straight up diabetes. That's what baklava is. If you've never had one, it's a pistachio, and you eat one, and I think you just feel your blood pressure like 200%. Sorry, your blood sugar.
Pistachio.
Your blood sugar.
Did you say pistachio?
Yeah, it has pistachios. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. You think it was a pistachio?
It's a layered pastry with pistachio in the layers, and also it's just fully just butter.
Butter?
It's wet with butter.
Butter doesn't have any sugar in it. Yeah, still doesn't have any sugar, so it ain't gonna give you diabetes.
It's definitely very sweet. So I've had some.
Saying, butter doesn't have it.
It's very
butter
sweet.
Isn't gonna give you diabetes. It's National Butter Day, so that's not gonna give you diabetes. Just put butter on everything. Just bread. Just skip the bread. Just go ahead butter.
Well, I'll give you
if you're worried about diabetes.
I suppose.
Cholesterol's good for you. It's cell protection.
Tell that to my landlady who is currently on a diet because her cholesterol is too high.
Hey, everybody's got their health issues.
Well, there's your non sequitur.
Well,
You're welcome for that. Let's
yeah.
look if there's any daily international observances, and there is. We did unfortunately end International Week of Science and Peace, but today is the day of remembrance for road traffic victims. People rely on cars a lot these days, especially larger vehicles like trucks, which are, 2 and 3 wheelers, and getting hit by pedestrians getting hit and cyclists getting hit. So there's a lot of terrible accidents that occur. Road traffic injuries now are the leading killer of people up to 5 years of age to 29 years of age. So most of our young people are being lost by pedestrians and cycling and motorcyclists accidents. So the UN is calling for sustainable development in which to reduce the number of road traffic deaths by, creating good roads for people to be on.
Just slow down. What's your big damn hurry?
Bike roads, and traffic stops and speed traps and all that stuff to make sure people are driving safely to the road. And I think that's it. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. This has been Allison from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. As we start another week, as we are inching closer and closer to the end of the year on Before Coffee. We'll see you tomorrow for Good Tuesday News Day. We're going to give you all that good news you need to hear so that you can have hope in humanity again. Make sure you're following on Twitch, subscribed on YouTube, and turn on that notifications on both those websites so you know when we go live video. If you'd like to support the show, check out the Patreon in the description, for which you can support as little as $1 a month. Get special behind the scenes stuff. Thank you, everyone. Take care of yourselves, and here is our I am totally a normal person in society mic drop moment.
In 1968, decided to become a candidate for president. I decided to clean the decks and to put everything in real estate. I sold
Nixon
all my
was
stock
just
for
a human,
$300,000.
a corrupt human.
I sold my apartment in New York for
Look at his hands.
$300,000. I'm using rough figures here.
All his fingers are
And I
there.
had $100,000
not AI.
from the law firm. And so that's where the money came
I mean,
from.
look at the video is so
Let me just say
old.
this.
You know it's real. The audio
And I
is
want to
so
say
bad.
this to the television.
I remembered it.
I made
was
my
a
mistakes.
kid. I was a fully aware,
But in
politically
all of my
aware
years
child.
of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent.
His friends have
And in all
profited.
of my
though.
years of public
His vice
life,
president did.
I wish
I have
people
never
could say that
obstructed
now,
justice.
but like every single
And I
person
think, too,
other
that
than
I
the
could
two
say
representatives,
that in my
every
years of public
senator
life, that I welcome
has a
this
lot of
kind
money.
We say,
examination, because people have got to know whether or not
Wait,
their
he's going to say
president's
it.
a
He's going
crook.
to say it.
Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
That's right. If he had to grovel for it, he still earned it, right? Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.